pineapple on pizza.
No, stop. Get
is
out.
it a
I'm
yes
leaving.
or no
All right,
for
see
you?
ya.
You're now listening to The Creator Code, the podcast dedicated to unlocking the secrets of your favorite online creators. Each week, we will deep dive into the tech, tips, and tricks to find out what truly makes them tick. Whether you're a new creator just starting out or an accomplished veteran, this show is made for you. And now, here's your host, Matty Tingles.
All right, welcome back to the Creator Code podcast. I'm your host, Matty Tingles. This is the podcast where we unlock the secrets of your favorite creators. We did take a few weeks off, so we are back though. Full disclosure, I did test positive for COVID, so I was out for like 2 weeks straight doing nothing. But we are back with one of the most highly requested guests. Thank you so much for being here. As a reminder, full video of these episodes are on YouTube, so check that out. Also, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, check that out. Today, episode 14, we have a very special guest joining us. Like I said, definitely one of the highest requested guests on the podcast. I'm talking about over 500 million views, which is craziness. I am talking about 1.9 million subscribers, absolutely killing it, and I'm excited that he's here. Of course, I'm talking about JoJo's ASMR. JoJo, what's going on?
G'day, Matty. What's going on, mate? Thanks for having me on.
Of course. We had to make it happen. Like every episode, I think there's comments that are like, "Oh, let's get JoJo on."
Yeah, you're the GOAT, bro. Thanks for having me.
So we had to make it happen. Let's get right to it. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I'm sorry to everyone watching if I sound a little tired. I just woke up. Our time zones were whack, so we had to sync those up. But yeah, I'm doing good. You know, I'm in a really harsh lockdown here in Sydney, Australia.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
we've been in lockdown for like maybe the past 3 months now. So,
wow.
But other than that, yeah.
Oh
life
no,
could
go
be
ahead.
worse.
So yeah, like you said, we're in different time zones. So I am in Oregon in the US and you're in Sydney, you said?
Yeah.
Wow. So lockdown, what does the lockdown look like? Like how strict is it?
Well, it's pretty strict. So, essentially, you cannot travel like 5 kilometers outside of where you live unless you have like
Oh wow.
specific reasons, whether it's work related or you need to like get medical care or something, or if it's
Yeah.
like essential travel and stuff like that. There's like
Wow.
there's like a curfew in certain areas of the state, so you can't like go out at certain times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy for sure. But like,
Wow.
it's wild.
Yeah, I mean, like where I'm at, I think we're getting there though. I think we're about to head back to that.
Yeah, like we've been
things-
getting our population just vaccinated and all that stuff. So like, hopefully in around mid-October, we should be able to open back up the state, which is exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, where I'm at, everything is open. They just put a mask mandate back. Like we didn't even have to wear masks anywhere for months.
Wow.
And then like surprise, numbers shot up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think we're heading back there though. I think we're gonna go back to lockdown soon because numbers right now in Oregon are higher than they were all of last year.
Wow, but aren't a lot of you guys like vaccinated?
Yeah, so Oregon I think is 11th or 12th out of 50 states for vaccinated. I think it's like almost 60% fully vaxxed.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we've like, I think our premier says like they're gonna start opening back up the country once we hit like double vaccination at like 70 or 80%. So
yeah,
it's crazy.
Wow.
But you said you had COVID. How?
Yeah.
Like, are you okay? What's been going on?
I am good. You know, so I'm vaxxed and still got it, but of course, like the vax isn't like doesn't say like you're not gonna get it. It's basically just, you know, the symptoms are gonna be way less mild. So my symptoms, I mean, I was very tired for 2 weeks, just out of it, slept a lot. But really the worst thing that I had was I did lose taste and smell, which was really weird.
Wow.
And it
That's
came back in
crazy.
like 13 days. Other than that, like a little congested, but that's it. Like it was really,
Wow. There
really
you
mild.
go.
Yeah,
Well,
really
glad that
mild.
you're okay. Have you got all
Yeah.
the taste and your smell
I
back?
I would think I think it's at about 85%.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good to hear you're okay.
Yeah, it's scary. It's like what people don't talk about too is like once you get it, like the fear of it going
Worse
bad
or
is
like,
like
yeah.
crazy. You know what I mean? Like you're laying in bed and you're like, man, I hope this doesn't
Yeah.
turn. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I get you.
whew, it's crazy. Okay, so let's get this out of the way up front. You are definitely one of the most requested guests for sure on the podcast and for a collab on
Let's
our channels,
go.
right? So let's give the people what they want. Are we going to make that happen soon or what?
Hell yeah, we are, man. Let's do it. I'm so down. Of course. Like
I think
I
we got
want
to
to
do it
collaborate. Like I wish I could do more collaborations, and it's always so tedious to structure for me just because of my
yeah,
time zone and then all
for
that
sure.
stuff. But yeah, I'd love to. Like I'm definitely in the works of wanting to do like another like Avengers themed video where I
Nice.
just get all the boys and we all just like have a good time. So
Yeah, yeah,
that'd be
absolutely.
great. I'd love to have you on for that, or even if like other projects, that'd be so good. I'm so down.
Yeah. All right, you guys heard it here. You guys heard it here. We're gonna make it happen, so you can stop DMing me about it
Yeah,
every day.
JoJo X Matty confirmed.
Yep, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, so you're in Australia. You said, were you born and raised there?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a little backstory.
Yeah, so I was born in Sydney, Australia, and I've grown up here my whole life. And um, yeah, there's really not much to say. Like, I'm half Japanese, but
Okay.
I've never been to Japan, unfortunately,
Wow.
because like my mom's like Japanese, but like I don't think she wants to go back. I think she just wanted to leave that place and go back. But I have so much family over there, so it would be really nice. Like
Yeah,
when uh international travel opens back up, it'd be so nice to go over to Japan and stuff.
for sure.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing really much to it.
yeah. Nice, nice. I mean, you're definitely the first guest from Australia on the
Yeah, let's
podcast.
go.
But like I mean I'm kind of the same way, right? Like I was born in Seoul, South Korea, and then adopted at like 2 months old, and I've never been
Right.
to Korea. You know what I mean? So same kind of thing. Um, awesome. I mean, what's like what's Australia like? So just like from the US's perspective, like Australia, the only thing we know
Spiders,
is like spiders
kangaroos.
and yeah, like we only know like
Yeah,
the
I know.
crazy stuff. So like what's a day like in Australia for you?
So
When you're not in lockdown?
yeah. Well, I'm from New South Wales or Sydney, so it's literally like, and it's very urbanized. You know, there's
Okay.
I've never seen like these huge spiders or kangaroos or like, not to
Okay.
say that they
Okay.
don't exist, but like I live in a very urban place of Australia, but
Yeah.
definitely in like other states and stuff, it can be quite rural, and
Okay.
um it's very safe. Like
Okay.
there's this misconception that like Australia, you're gonna get bitten by black
Right.
spiders and you're gonna get killed by rattlesnakes and
Yeah.
what stuff. But we have platypus and like all these
Okay.
cool indigenous native animals and stuff. But
Yeah.
it depends where you go. Like Melbourne is another very urban place. Like it looks like the US, it's like to some
Okay.
extent. So
Okay. I
it's
mean,
parts of
I
like, yeah,
figured I figured like the bigger cities were like that. But seriously, that's like the thing that Americans think of Australia.
Mm,
Like they think that's everywhere.
I know.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
fair enough.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. What's the other Australia thing? Oh, the water. Does it really flush the other way? Is that a thing?
Does it
You know
flush
about
the
that?
other way? I didn't
Yeah,
know that
like
was a thing.
yeah, so I think this is actually true. I'm gonna get roasted if it's not, but I'm pretty sure like when you flush a toilet in the US, it goes away. And
Huh?
in Australia, because of where you're at, it goes
I've never heard that, but
all right.
I'll look
Someone
out for that next time I
this is
flush
why
my
I need
toilet.
someone in the room with me to fact check things. That's okay. All right. Listen, comment below if you know what I'm talking about. I could have just made that up. Who knows? Um Okay, so give me some background with ASMR. What got you into it? What made you start creating it? Uh give me some background there.
All right. Well, like anyone else, when I needed to go to sleep one day when I was in high school. I just looked up on YouTube, video for sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first ASMR video I came across was Maria's, like Gentle Whisperings.
Nice.
And it was just one of her OG videos. And I'm like, this is so weird, but it is like strangely relaxing and helping me go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was like doing a different YouTube channel where I was doing more like commentary based stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'll put this at the back of my head because like I feel like I have quite the temperament to do ASMR just because
Yeah.
of my personality innately. So I'm like, this is interesting. It's really weird. I'll just put this at the back of my head and let's see what happens. And then like 2 years later, I'm like, let's just make an ASMR video and see what happens. And
Nice.
so I just gave it a shot, and I guess here we are all these years later. It was really funny because like when I first started my ASMR channel, it was in the transition from doing like commentary stuff and
Yeah.
like satirical stuff and like sort of like almost like Leafy is here esque videos to
Okay.
like
Okay.
ASMR. And
Yeah.
so you can imagine that's quite a strange
Right.
transition. And
Yeah.
so like at first I was just getting clowned and memed on by like
Right.
my viewers and just like all of my like other commentator peers.
Sure.
And like fair enough, it was really, really cringe. But
Yeah.
I guess
I mean,
like yeah.
but even back at that time though, right? Like ASMR was relatively new. It
Yeah, it was
certainly
very
wasn't
stigmatized for sure.
exactly. So okay. Man, I mean, I can't tell you how many people say that Maria is their first video, by the way.
Yeah, she's the
Like,
goat.
yeah,
She's the OG.
yeah, it's she's pretty much everyone's first. Um okay, I love that. Okay, so you went from the satirical video stuff in the ASMR, and then once you started ASMR, did you completely stop the satirical stuff or did you do both? How was
Well,
that
I
transition?
sort of did both for like maybe a few months, but then I just like gave it up once like the ASMR stuff was doing well. And also I was very
Nice.
like burnt out and worn out from the commentary stuff because I personally feel like I've matured quite a lot, through my YouTube career because
Yeah.
I've done YouTube for since I was like a 12-year-old kid, and I did
Wow.
like Minecraft, like every 13-year-old, I did like a Minecraft
Yeah.
channel,
Yeah.
and that was a lot of fun. And that got to like 20,000 subscribers at its peak, and then that slowly died off. And then I tried the commentary stuff when I was an edgy teen, like
Yeah.
when I was 16 or stuff, and that got to like 60,000 subscribers, and then that eventually died off. And then I'm like, let's try ASMR, and I guess here we are, like it's
Yeah.
been pretty good. But like the I got quite burnt out from the satirical like drama based like commentary stuff because it was just like really taxing. Like it's sort of this toxic environment where you're just like hitting up or hitting down on other people, and
Right.
it was just like looking back at those videos, it's just like I can't believe like some of those videos were me because I'm so
Yeah.
different now.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
like everyone has, their phase, their edgy phase, I
Yeah.
guess.
Absolutely.
And so it was very like emotionally and mentally draining doing those commentary videos. And so I was like, it's so nice to be in a positive community. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stick to this, and here we are.
Do you think um do you think people came with you from the first channel to ASMR? Like, did you have people
Nah, I
transition?
like doubt it, to be honest, because like I
Really?
didn't promote it or talk about it at all because I was actually quite
Yeah.
embarrassed about my ASMR channel. In
Yeah.
fact, I didn't even tell my girlfriend I had an ASMR channel until like a year later. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's been there at least once, right? Like, especially when you're first starting out, like,
Yeah.
it's if anything, it's just hard to explain.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, like,
Especially like when you have like a Japanese mom and she's just like
right.
trying to explain ASMR to her. Like my parents are really supportive, so I'm super grateful for them, but it was definitely like that phase of like trying to explain to them and then like them understanding it and
Yeah.
being like, okay, what is this? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it
I
was quite
mean,
the process.
yeah, I like my mom gets it. I don't think she like gets it, but she knows that I do YouTube, like I make videos, right? And then
Sure.
my grandma's 97,
Wow.
and I'm not gonna try to explain ASMR or YouTube to her. And so I literally just tell her I work for Google. Because Google owns, they own YouTube. So I'm like, yeah, things are going good at Google, because she knows that word. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
very good.
so funny. It's so
That's
funny.
so funny.
Oh man. Okay. Well, look, I think you've had a really crazy journey, and obviously things have gone really well for you. Does it feel real to you that like almost 2 million people are subscribed to you? Like, how do you compartmentalize that? How do you deal with that?
Well, I actually there's always this notion when you're starting on YouTube, like, oh my god, life's going to be so different when I hit 1 million subscribers. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be
Right.
recognized. I'm going to be like notorious. And then once you get to 1 million subscribers, at least from my point of view, right?
Yeah.
So nothing has changed. Like, I'm the exact same as before. And a big reason that contributes to this is because less than like 2%, if not 1% of my audience live in Australia. So I hardly
Mm,
ever get recognized.
yeah.
It does happen, like, quite rarely, but
Yeah.
I have not experienced that sort of um,
Got it.
notoriety from my YouTube channel. And the crazy thing is, like, when my channel had maybe like less than 100,000 subscribers, I was in New York City and I was at LA. And
Wow.
the craziest story I had, like, getting noticed, was I was like going to a popcorn stand and I just like ordered some popcorn from this person, and then they were just like, "Wait, are you JoJo's ASMR?" And like, I wasn't even
Right.
that big at the time, so it'd be
Yeah.
really interesting to see what it would be like when
What do we now?
international
Yeah.
travel goes back, to go back there. And I'd love to
For
like
sure.
not only interact with, like, I guess I hate the word fans, but like interact with my
Yeah. Yeah.
audience, and like, but
Viewers. Yeah.
also most of all, like, meet some of my peers and meet you and meet like all the
Yeah.
boys, and meet like Gina and all that stuff, because like
Yeah.
you guys are all amazing and it would be a dream come true. Like, I saw that you did one of those like panels, and that looked
Yeah.
so fun. Like, I
That
would
was really
kill to like
fun.
go there and just
Yeah.
like see you guys, and it's just so nice that everyone's just like, you have PJ and Gina, and you
Yep.
have like Maddie, and you have like all the boys there, and it's just
Yeah.
like, I'd love
Yeah.
to be there, but I'm just like, here I'm in Australia. But yeah,
I
to
mean,
answer your
yeah,
question, yeah, I
you're
don't really get like, I don't really have to compartmentalize anything because I rarely get noticed, although it does rarely happen, and when it does, it's quite
sure.
surreal for sure.
For sure. Yeah, that's interesting. So, okay, so a couple things. One, I mean, the best way and the most fun way to like meet up with everyone for sure is like conventions and stuff, right? So like the pan I did was at VidCon, where there's already a structure, right? Where everyone can just go to a thing and meet up. You know what I mean? And that was really fun. Obviously with COVID, like who knows when big conventions will be back, if ever, right? Um uh and yeah, that would so where's your demographic at? Like where is it US?
Yeah, it's like 50% is just from the US alone, and then like
Wow.
maybe 10 or so percent from the UK, and then it's just like a
All
mishmash
over.
of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. I would have thought, well, I mean, do you talk about on your channel being from Australia?
Not so much. A lot of my see, the funny thing is from a very young age, whenever I started YouTube, I've always, whenever I do like YouTube videos, my accent just for some reason, and I can't explain why, and my audience has always pointed this out for
Mhm.
years. It's just for some reason just turns American,
Oh, wow.
right? And I don't know if that was like a subconscious thing when I was a kid growing up, and I'd be like, I need to speak in an American accent
Right.
for like my audience to grow an audience. Like, because when I was a kid growing up, it was very hard for a kid to like be famous on YouTube, because especially in like the Minecraft community, because you just get roasted for being a pipsqueak and you wouldn't have like
Sure.
a low enough voice, and like all these people I were watching had American accents. So I guess maybe when I was a
Oh,
kid, I
yeah.
just like subliminally was like, I need to
Yeah.
make my voice lower and start speaking in an American accent, which is so funny.
Right.
But like, yeah, my audience for the longest time like thought I was from the US until I came out and be like, yeah, guys, I'm actually from
Right.
Australia. And even
Yeah.
still to this day, people think I'm from the US or like the UK or something. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny.
I mean up until I think honestly up until we started talking about doing this podcast, I didn't know you were from Australia. I
Yeah,
definitely thought you were from
that's
UK or here.
that's what a lot of people say.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Um all right. So this is just I want to talk about this because I think it's incredible. from watching your channel. I want to talk to you about magic stuff, right?
Sure.
So, oh man, and this is so funny that we're talking about this because I've been in like a deep dive on YouTube of watching magicians and stuff lately. I don't know why.
Cool stuff.
So I've watched a lot of the card trick videos over the years. They're super impressive, and
Thank you.
honestly, even more impressive that like the stuff works without someone in the room. You know what I mean? Like it works for the person watching, which is a
Yeah.
different thing, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. Like, do you have a magic background? How'd you get into that? Like, like where did that come from?
I guess I don't know. It's like when I was a kid in like primary school, like you always have phases, you know, when you're in school, like we're into like tech decks, and then we're
Right,
into like
right.
jelly bean, like I don't know, like there's always like a
Yeah,
phase or something.
yeah.
And I guess what happened, like when I was in school, there was just like a card magic sort of phase, and all of us would bring cards to school, and we would like learn card tricks, and
Nice.
all of us we'd all get our deck of cards confiscated from the teacher and stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you know. And so like I don't know, I just like was really interested in it as a kid. There's always something which I've found very like I've always loved magic. I'm a very visual person, and so I just learnt it as a side hobby. And then when I
Nice.
was doing ASMR, it's so nice because the thing I love about ASMR is it's just an umbrella term. As long as you're like quiet or whispering or have some sort of
Absolutely.
relaxation factor, you can do literally the world's your oyster. Whereas when
Absolutely.
I was doing like Minecraft or like the commentary stuff, you're actually quite limited,
Sure.
like to an extent. And so I was just thinking, like, how can I sort of stand out at the time? Because I wanted to find some way to be like unique. And
Yeah.
so I thought, let's just give these like card tricks a shot. And I like distinctly remember that was sort of like a catapult point for my YouTube channel, even though it's like not nearly something I do as much nowadays on my YouTube
Right.
channel because you know it's gotten big enough without it.
Yeah.
But like I remember that like maybe one of my first, it had to be like my top, like my second or third viral video, which really helped me kickstart my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Was like the card magic stuff. So
Yeah.
I just do it as a side hobby. It's just like a cool little icebreaker I do for
Okay.
strangers if I ever meet them. It's never been
Got it.
something that I do professionally, although like I have been interested and I have like learned some pretty advanced card magic here and there, even though I'm by no means a professional by any stretch of
Sure.
the
Yeah.
imagination. It's just something I do for fun.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I've always wondered that because like seriously the videos are really impressive and also like card shuffling, hand movement, like it's very ASMR -y.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
You know what I mean? I remember watching your stuff, like this is probably, man, years ago, but I remember when you were doing like you do like a card trick video and then it was like, all right, and we're doing a giveaway of like 3 decks of cards. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like by the way, if you ever get back into that, you should do like a merch of your own deck of cards. Like
Oh my
a
God, that's such a good
JoJo
idea.
a
I'm going to give
JoJo
you a
deck.
commission. That's such a
A
good
JoJo
idea,
deck
bro.
would be kind of cool though.
That'd
That'd
be
be kind of cool.
skits. Yeah, that'd be skits,
Kind of
mate.
cool. Anyway, who you have some? Do you have a give me like 2 or 3 favorite magicians for you?
Oh, okay. My two or three. I have to first of all, I have to say David Blaine. I mean, he's just the goat, you know.
Yep,
I mean,
absolutely.
like some of the stuff he's totally separated from some of like the TV or commercialized magicians like
Yeah, yeah,
Chris Angel and you know, some of those
yeah,
people it's just so obvious they're paid actors and
definitely.
stuff is like all pre-set up. But with David Blaine, like he is a true magician and like he's like I've seen like so some of the card tricks he does on like Jimmy
Yeah,
Fallon, sorry.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
some of the card tricks he does on that show are actually like extremely advanced and like some
Yeah,
of like because I know how a lot of his tricks are done.
sure.
Um and some of the ones like I would not have like he has like Magnum Canyon sized balls to do
Yeah.
some of
Oh,
the
yeah.
tricks that he
Oh, yeah.
does
Look,
because
I'm so glad you're talking about because literally for the last week, I've just been watching David Blaine stuff, like
oh
deep
yeah,
dive,
he's
and
insane.
I've watched all his specials and stuff, but like
But even
Man,
like, but even like, sorry to interrupt you, but like, even
you're good.
aside from the extremely like technically advanced card tricks he does, the stunts that this guy does is
Yeah,
like sets
yeah,
him on a S tier,
yeah.
like above everyone else. Like,
And
what
and
he
that's
like, yeah, he was like
that's the thing
underwater for
too,
like
right?
20
Like
minutes. Like, it
that's the
was
thing is
crazy.
like it's like he does extremely advanced stuff like you said, but then he's also doing like endurance, actual physical things. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
whole thing, the aquarium in the stomach thing is
Oh yeah, when he gets
insane.
like the
Yeah, like
fish
that.
and the frogs, that's
Yeah, and like
insane.
the drinking a bunch of water and then the kerosene and blowing
That's
kerosene
just
out.
so
You know
crazy
what I'm
and
saying?
stupid.
Like that's not even magic. That's just
That's
science and
just
like training your body. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
yeah, I love
So
David Blaine.
he's definitely like top tier. Like
Yep,
no one
agree.
will ever like even touch him. Another really good guy um is an Israeli magician. His name is RC Wind. And
Okay,
he's like David Blaine's sort of like one of his guys that like teach him all of these like crazy magic tricks. And of course I love like Penn and Teller. You know, they're
sure.
so
Yeah.
classic. And
Yep. Yep.
um yeah, there's
Nice.
just so many good magicians. I can't. And Shin Lim, he's also
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
absolute. Like it's like watching. I don't know. It's watching Shin Lim do like sleight of hand is just like it's like
Yeah.
smooth like butter how he moves with his hands. It's
Right.
crazy because like I some of the stuff he does is so hard and he makes it look so easy. That's like the
Yeah.
best sort of magic. So yeah.
I mean, and the weird thing is, again, it's so weird we're talking about this because I've just been so into it lately. Like, I actually think David Blaine is a little bit like would be a really good ASMR artist.
Yeah, I could see
Like
that. I could so
his
see
voice
that.
is like his voice and how he projects and talks is so much of the trick too. Like his voice is like
Absolutely.
monotone and like kind of puts you in a trance before he does anything.
Yeah, he
You know what
has
I
that
mean?
sort of death stare.
Yeah,
He could
yeah. It's
he definitely do well for sure.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, look, that's if you guys are listening, definitely check out JoJo's magic card trick
I need
videos.
to
They're
dust off my decks of cards and get back to the
yeah,
lab. Gotta
yeah,
get cooking.
yeah.
Gotta get some new tricks
It's
up.
man, and it's just practice, right? Like magic stuff, it's just practice. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, like anything for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I like it. All right, moving on. Let's talk about piano. I
Cool.
actually did not know you played piano until I was starting to research for this. Uh, Talk to me about that. Like, how'd you get into that, and do you still play all of that?
Well, so I have an Asian mom, so that probably explains why I
I get it.
why I play piano. But
Yeah,
all jokes aside, like I hated playing piano growing up until I was maybe like 10, 11, and 12 because after you pass like a certain age your parents have to be like, look at
yeah.
that testy pop. Whoa, sheesh. Like my mom, she's like, okay, look, at this point it's up to you. And I guess I sort of had that guilt factor where I'm like, I have to play for my mom and stuff. But then eventually, the
Right.
older I got, I started to fall in love with it more and more. And my original plan was before doing ASMR was to be like a pianist, whether that
Yeah.
was in the music industry for like teaching or playing at gigs or I don't know, like my dream was to obviously be a concert pianist, but like that is
Right.
just so unrealistic because
Hmm.
when you have like an orchestra, they have like I don't know how many violins, and they will always only
Right.
have one
And
pianist,
one.
if
Yeah.
ever. So like, and also like the classical music industry is a niche in itself. It's not
Yeah.
nearly as popular as it used to be. So I started to consider all of these things, and I was like, okay, is this like the best use of my time, and is this like the most lucrative, I guess, pathway I can take?
Right.
And so I had to rationalize that stuff. And I guess I came to my own personal conclusion that it wasn't really. So I am studying full time, like classical music
Nice.
at my university.
Nice.
And I guess I'm sort of doing that as like anyone, like a backup or something
Sure.
to fall back on if my online entrepreneur stuff doesn't pan out
Yeah.
or if one day it, dies off. And so it's always good to have that piece of paper that, hey, I have like my bachelor's degree, I can teach, I can like do stuff like that. So,
Absolutely.
and music also really helped with my like ADHD because I'm very hyperactive, and so it was really good to just sort of like zone me out, like zone me in, and put
Yeah.
all of my I guess you could say just like hyperactive energy into something that required a lot of focus like that. So
Hmm.
um yeah, it's been great for
Nice.
sure. But
Nice.
it's not
Nice.
nearly as much as like a top priority as it used to be when I was in like high school and I was practicing like hours and hours and hours a day.
Right. 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 You have a favorite song to play?
I have a favorite song. I play a lot of classical music, so I guess my favorite composers would probably be like Beethoven, Chopin, like
Nice.
Bach, Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff,
Nice.
like all the goats. Like they're all
Yeah. Yeah.
G's.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, yeah, I was honestly impressed, man. Like I didn't know you did that, and I think I
Thanks.
don't know where I saw it. It was on your Instagram or something. Play piano,
Probably.
and I was like, whoa, what? Like,
Yeah, sheesh.
cool, man. Yeah. All right. So you just said something, by the way, that was not on my list, but I think would be interesting to talk about just for creators out there of any size, if you're listening. Um, do you have uh you have like a fear of your of your online career ending?
Oh, absolutely. For sure. I'm
Yeah.
like an extremely like paranoid person. I mean,
Mm,
one of the things I would say I'm really really proud about my channel, and I think what's been a very huge contributor to I guess my success, if you will, would be how like strict I am with my upload schedule and how consistent I am. Because
yeah.
I upload, and I think I've like uploaded every other day for maybe the past like 3 years without break.
Wow.
Like, so some people might see that as extremely obsessive and excessive, which it is. I don't recommend it. But like for me, I'm like, like everyone else have that Stockholm syndrome where like if I don't upload
Yeah.
tomorrow, my channel's gonna die
Yeah.
and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And it is very hard for me to take a break. Like I
Yeah.
have like 20 videos in advance prepared, and I'm still like have the need to like I need to film like videos today.
Ooh,
Like so
man.
like I guess like that grind has like been a huge contributor, but at the same time, like at the cost of like your mental health or something like that. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely have like experienced what you're saying. And but at the same time, like I also recognize that, nothing good ever lasts forever, and there will come a day when all of us are irrelevant. And
Yeah.
so and
Absolutely.
I try to sort of turn that fear in terms of I'm scared my channel's going to die out to I want this to last longer and longer. And so that sort of drives me to continue making
Yep.
videos. I'm sure there'll be a day
Absolutely.
I'll just like burn out and I need to take a year off or something, but I'm doing fine for now. And at the same time, I'm in lockdown, so I have nothing else really to do right now aside from like trying
Exactly.
to create new ideas and make more videos.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Well, look, I think any creator, especially if you find any form of success, especially with what we hear about YouTube and the algorithm and how, all that stuff. Like, I think everyone's experienced that, like, oh man, if I don't upload or if I miss something, like, it's just
yeah.
it's gonna be over, right? And but I think also, like, so I'm just looking at it. We actually both made our channels in 2015.
Yeah, I remember the first video I saw. Wait, oh no no no. Okay, go on. Because I only uploaded my first video in 2016.
Okay. So, and that honestly might be me too. I can't remember. I'm just looking at when the channels were made, right? And
Hmm.
look, that's even if it's 16, right? That's 5 years coming on 6 years. That's
Yeah,
that's longer than the average shelf life, like the average career of a YouTuber. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like
absolutely.
we're already there. Um and look, I think that's I mean, work ethic for sure. And then also just ASMR is it's not a daily vlog. It's not you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
think
like
the
I don't know
longevity.
how these people, and I guess they can't, like how people at all are able to sustain a daily vlog like routine. Because like
It's
I've
crazy.
pictured it, and I'm like the amount of editing you'd have to do, and
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
make your ordinary life interesting or for people to watch, and do that every day. Like
Yep. Yep.
I that
Yep.
was just mind blowing. But I think what to like add on what you were saying about how it's been like 5 6 years. I think one of the greatest things about ASMR, it's like no one blows up if that makes sense in the
Yeah.
ASMR community. Like you don't have people that gain 20,000 subscribers a day or
Right.
hundreds of thousands of subscribers a month or like but it's funny because if you look at the long term and the big picture, you know, a lot of these people, you know, we're just slowly chugging along. We're doing our
Yeah.
thing. We're getting on that grind, and we're getting a
Yep.
few thousand subscribers here and there every month, but it's consistent. And I think
For sure.
consistency is like everything to YouTube, because everyone can get one viral video that gets like 10 million views, right? That's
Absolutely. Yes.
possible. Everyone can get like a viral video to hit 1 million views, and they'll
Yep.
gain thousands of subscribers, you know, that week. But
Yep.
you'll notice that a lot of these people that do that, you check back on their channels of 6 months, a year,
Exactly.
2 years, they're just, where are they? They're gone. And so
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
a huge part of it, in my opinion, is like consistency and like playing the long game on YouTube if you want to make it a long-term sustainable career. And so even though, say, my channel or any other ASMR channel isn't gaining like millions of views and like tens of thousands of subscribers a day, it's the fact that we've been like slow and consistent, and
Yeah.
that it's led to like long-term success, and it accumulates over time like a snowball effect, I guess.
Yep. I completely agree. And also just for the viewers, like when people find someone they like or even a video they like, they go back to it for years.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
like people aren't watching a music video or a vlog every night for 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like the genre is just built for longevity if you do it right.
Yeah, like ASMR is so lucky because it hasn't been just totally cracked down by like YouTube community guidelines and stuff. Like it's so like we're very lucky because you see like other
No
communities,
question.
like commentary communities or reaction channels, or like people who have like political views. It's like,
Mhm.
then you see like ASMR, it's like we have nice long watch time, we're all really positive, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yep.
it's very lucky. That's one of the things I've been super grateful for. Like, because you see some people out there, they're just getting whacked by demonetization,
Yes.
or they, you know, they have like controversial opinions or stuff like that. Like, very lucky for sure.
I agree. I completely agree. Okay, let's get into a little bit of like technical idea stuff. Just because I think people really love that from the feedback, and they like hearing from their favorite creators, like their ideas and stuff like that. So talk to me specifically about video titles.
Okay.
I think going through your channel, I think you have a really unique way of using like keywords and being and making the video something that people would want to click on, even if they're
Okay.
reading just the title, right? So where does that come from? Where do the video titles specifically come from?
Sure. So, well, the time I talked to YouTube, I was asking them like, what determines a video's like success to go viral? And there were two real big things that they told me. The first being click-through rate. So like when they see your video, what percentage of people actually click on it? And then the second one is like watch time, obviously. So for those people that click on it, how long are they actually watching the video? And so the truth of the matter is, like you said, like the title and thumbnail is like as important, if not more important, you know, like truth be told, than the
Absolutely.
video itself. So
Yep.
so much time usually goes into like thumbnails and titles, as like you, as I'm sure you would know. And I guess when I'm making my titles, I'm always thinking about it in the point of view of the viewer, in terms of like,
There you
if
go.
I saw this title come up, is this something I would want to click on? And so there are many different ways you can sort of create interest or intrigue from a viewer. So one of the things I like to do sometimes is like put just a generic vague statement.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, at this point of the video, this will happen. And it's like,
Right.
okay, cool. Or another
Right.
thing I like to do sometimes is like asking a question. Or sometimes what I like to do is like, obviously there's like, everyone takes inspiration from each other, and you'll see like titles that do really well. And so sometimes you'll just like use a similar title as that. So it can be as
Absolutely.
simple as that. But
Yeah.
I think like as a mix of like both the title and the thumbnail is really important. So I try to I have sort of like a few different ideas with like when I'm doing thumbnails. Sometimes I like to make it extremely just like cluttered, and I like to put all different
Right.
colors and stuff in it. But then
Right.
there are other times I like to keep it extremely simple and have like little to no editing, and just make it like a screenshot or something. Because I
Sure,
think it's
yeah.
always good to like keep your viewers on their toes. And so they're like, whoa, they uploaded a thumbnail like this day, and then like the next day
Yeah.
it's like totally different. So I think like being quick on your feet and stuff like that's also really important. But I also am a huge fan of like symmetry, and
Mm.
in terms of like it's quite interesting, and you look into like the psychology of what makes people like interested in certain things, like they're interested in certain colors or like symmetry and like composition of an image and stuff like that.
Sure.
I think these are all like tools you can use to try and make your thumbnails better. And like another like problem I sometimes see with like titles or like thumbnails is um sometimes like the idea of less is more. So you sometimes have people who have like these extremely just long wind like bizarre titles or
Yeah.
thumbnails that are just like look good when you're like zoomed up on a screen editing it, but you have to think about how does this thumbnail look when you're looking at it from a desktop or a phone. Like
Or
that's going to be
yeah,
a 120 by
exactly.
120 PNG, right? So
100%.
it's important to like try when you're doing thumbnails to make it like how does this look from a far away when I'm looking at it from my like
Yep.
desktop, right? So yeah, but
Absolutely.
that's not to say that there isn't like advantages of sometimes implementing like a lot of these weird titles or like
Yeah.
a cluttered thumbnail because like that's something different and sometimes your audience wants something different. So
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so just to follow up on a few things you said, right? Like, I was listening to an interview with Mr. Beast, um, and he literally said what you just said. He was like, right now, title thumbnail is actually like equally or more important than the actual video, right? And then also just to clear up, so people, if people listening don't know, so he's talking about click through rate, and that is, from what I've heard as well, like definitely one of the most important parts of this. So click through rate is essentially like it's like the number of clicks versus number of impressions divided by number of clicks, I believe, right? So if
yeah, something like
if the
that.
video's seen 1,000 times and 100 people click on it, you'd have a 10% click through rate, right? And so you obviously want to have that click through rate as high as you can. And if you're new, to this, all of this stuff is in your analytics, and you can deep dive into specific videos, go into, it's all there. But yeah, I actually, for this last like year or so, I've really been focusing on click through rate.
Yeah, it's so
For
hard
sure,
and
it's a
no
big
one's
one.
like cracked
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
puzzle, you know.
But like we've talked about too, like I think specifically with ASMR, we have the duration though.
Yeah,
Like the average
absolutely. Like
duration, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
like you always like for example, like my channel, I think like the whole ASMR community right now is sort of seeing a like maybe this isn't the correct term, but like a correction, if you will. Like
Yeah.
ASMR does really, really well in like the later months of the year, but
Yeah.
right now it's sort of more of a drier time. And so like
Yeah.
sometimes there's no more demoralizing feeling when like say your videos are doing quite badly and then like like everyone else is like just pumping like crazy.
For sure.
But
For sure.
like it can be quite like mentally demoralizing. But I think right now like everyone collectively as a community, like all of our views aren't really doing as well as a few months ago, and so in that
Yeah.
way you can sort of take solace in like okay, like this is just a normal thing. Like all trends come in and out of popularity, and this
Yep.
is just another one of those right now. So like um yeah, it's always important to know that like there are external factors at play sometimes, and like any trend it just comes in and out. So
Yep. Absolutely. And look, we've done this long enough to, and look, like, yeah, when views are down, of course, you're like, man, what am I doing wrong every year,
yeah,
right?
it can be
But
really
like,
like toxic for sure.
absolutely. And then of course, like, it's impossible not to compare because you're going to look at other, however,
Absolutely.
right? But like, also, we've done this long enough too to know, like, we can almost predict this now. I think we can almost predict when things are going to slow down and pick up. Almost like fourth quarter is normally going to go up, right? But then, like, because and obviously, like, or not obviously, but like, companies are pumping in a lot of money advertising for fourth quarter for YouTube, more
Mhm.
ads to show it, and then it snowballs, right? But then, right, then we're like January, February, March, like every year
Pew.
it's just going to go down. Like, we know that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think you did say something really important that's like, for the most part, and everyone's on a different scale, of course, because like I would say, even you, right? Like a good month for me would be way different than your good month. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Just everyone's on a different scale. But like,
It's the same sort of ratio, though.
exactly, for the most part, like everyone is in the same
For sure. I get you.
thing.
Unless you're
You know what
like
I mean?
this is like, there's always going to be outliers, of course, to the
For sure.
equation. But yeah.
No question. Yep. But anyway, like creators out there, like really know that though. Like it's every time that I've gone, man, I'm doing something wrong, or
Yeah,
like
I so get you, dude.
it's
Like,
not, but it's never that though. Like, like it's always essentially we're all in the same ratio. At least I think.
yeah, I think it's just a matter of like seeing the long game, and like even if your videos get 2 views or even if your videos do terribly, just keep going at
Right.
it, keep being consistent, and just don't give up. Like, I've been trying this since like I've had like 5 YouTube channels at this point, and this is like
Yep.
the like if you throw, bear my language, shit at the wall, eventually it'll stick.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so like,
But like that's what I think is really cool about almost every creator that I've met is like, and it's a personality thing. I think like we're just built to keep throwing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
keep
we're
throwing that
built to
poop.
keep throwing stuff, and like something's gonna happen.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's not everybody. Like that's not for everybody to do, right? Because
Yeah, it's
you know,
very like it can be hard for sure.
yeah, yeah. Um. All right, moving on. I know that you've done. I'm gonna say this. Most notably, I think the Men of ASMR videos, right? Because
The
those have all
what? The
done
meta?
the men of ASMR.
Oh, the men of ASMR, right? Yeah.
And those have all done really well. Where did that come from? What are your thoughts on collaborating in that way? Talk to me about that.
I don't know. One of my favorite ASMR YouTubers is Michael, or ASMR Zeitgeist, and he's just
Hmm.
like, his content is just on a whole new level.
Crazy.
Like the amount of effort and time and money he puts into his videos, they're just
Yep.
production, like in terms of a production standpoint, and they're like documentaries, they're like short films. It's
Absolutely.
crazy.
I agree.
So I was really inspired because he did a sort of video similar to that, but his was better than mine, man. He did like 30 different content creators. It was crazy, but
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, it'd be so nice to sort of, because it's good to see, men representation in a female, like a predominantly female dominated
Yep.
industry. And so I thought it would be really nice to just gather the boys.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go and let's just
Absolutely.
do an ASMR video in this sort of quick, snappy format. And I've been really meaning to do a sequel to that because since then have been just so many other awesome
Yeah.
ASMR content creators, and also just tons that I wasn't able to include because it was already a nightmare because of all the time zone differences, and
Oh
everyone's
yeah. I
always
bet.
so busy. So I
Yeah.
definitely will be making a part 2, and you will for sure, hopefully, if you would love to
Nice.
be in it.
Absolutely. I'm in. I'm in for sure. Yeah. I mean that's on my notes here as well. Like, it's not hard to see that ASMR is predominantly a female genre, right? And
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah, of course, of course.
look, I personally think like females are just naturally more nurturing in their nature,
Absolutely.
right? So
And
it's
people
like
are like
I
drawn
get it.
more in like a comforting sort of way to more feminine personalities, I would find.
Exactly.
And I'm
Exactly.
quite a feminine person,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
even though I'm a guy. Like I've never been like I just have a lot of feminine qualities. And so that's why I thought all those years ago when I watched a gentle whispering video, I'm like, I'll put this in the back of my head
Right.
because I feel like I'd be okay at doing
Yeah.
that. And that's not to
Yeah.
say that people who are quite like have masculine personalities aren't good at ASMR, but it just the
Sure.
trend has just shown that if it's a female dominated industry, I mean, obviously it's more like feminine qualities going on. And so I just thought, why not,
Exactly. Yeah. And it seems like every day though, I'm seeing a lot of male ASMR artists pop up.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that there aren't any, and honestly, there's a lot of really successful ones.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I look, I think that there's something there of like, it doesn't have to be all the time, but a Men of ASMR video I think is really cool because it's a just giving those people some representation in a genre that it's tough to
Yeah,
to
for
do that.
sure.
So that's cool, man.
Absolutely.
All right, I have maybe 6 more
Yeah, all good. I'm not going anywhere.
for you.
I'm in lockdown.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, what is your favorite part about what you do?
The favorite part of what I do would probably be just interacting with my audience and how wholesome of a community it is.
Nice.
I recently actually started Twitch streaming after like 6 years. And
Nice.
like, I was always scared of doing Twitch streaming because I don't like the fact that what I say can't be taken back. And you have to be really
Yeah,
careful with what you say.
absolutely.
It's totally different from video. But I think the biggest advantage about streaming is like interacting with your audience because I've never done that really before. And so
Yeah.
reading comments and, being able to say hi to chat and all that stuff is so nice. So I would say like, also just getting like random messages. And I think because from my point of view, I don't think I'm really doing anything. Like I'm just like a skinny Asian kid making videos in his basement. But like when
Right.
you
Yeah.
have, you know, someone messaging you on Instagram and they tell you this like these like heartfelt
Yeah,
stories
it's
of
the
like where they're
best.
coming
That's the
from, it's
best.
just like, seriously, I'm making that impact, and I'm like, I'm not complaining. Like that's the
Yep.
greatest thing ever. Like I'm so grateful for that, and
Yep.
humbled for it. And so
Oh, it's the best, man. And like, so for me, my demographic is like, because of what I do on my channel is like 11 to 19, right?
yeah.
It's younger, and it's like 80% male.
Hmm.
Um, and I get DMs all the time of like, hey, like I hate my school. Everyone hates me at my school. I'm having a really tough time in school, but I come home and watch your videos, and it helps me get through. That's literally the best part of what we do.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And I think Twitch is really fun, or any form of live streaming is fun too, because what we do on YouTube is we're editing this video, it's a perfect product, and then we go, well, hope you like it. Maybe there's some comments, hope you like it. And Twitch is or streaming is like automatic feedback. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's very
Like
like human interaction, like as
yeah.
close as it's gonna get, for
Yep.
sure.
Yep. Favorite kind of video to create on your channel so far?
Favorite kind of video to create. I'm a huge fan of like the worst reviewed sort of series that I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're always a lot of work because I always have to like script out all those videos and have an idea what I'm gonna say,
Right.
and like whether it's like getting costumes and stuff or editing those videos because they're like more of a comedic sort of
Yeah.
quality to them. Those are always fun to make. I also love making. I recently like did a video where I collaborated with my subscribers, so I just got them to like
Yeah.
email tons of like their clips, and it was so nice to be able to like make a video with them. So I'll definitely do more of
Right.
those in the future. And I also love like some of the
Crowdsourcing,
reaction
it's
videos.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love like
Yeah.
reaction videos. So I've started to like, I did this like thing where I like react to different like TikToks. I think like you started that, right? Like I think
Yeah. I did
let's go.
reacting to that just the ASMR hashtag on TikTok.
Yeah, like so
Yeah,
it was great to like, it's great to like just watch other people's stuff and do something different. And
absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, again, that's just and like we make it sound simple, but this is what we're really doing, right? Is we're very in tune with what's working on the internet,
yeah,
right? And
absolutely. Like
clearly,
I'm always
reaction
like, ever since I was a
exactly.
kid, I'm always studying, like
There you go,
seeing what
right?
other people are doing and just like,
And that's
yeah.
big. That's like a big unsaid part of what we do is like you really have to keep up with what's going on and keep up with what's working, right? And clearly, it's really easy to see that reaction videos are huge,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
then what's really cool about ASMR, what we talked about earlier, is that like you can take anything that's working somewhere else and make it into something in ASMR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, okay, I want to talk about upload schedule really quick, which we covered a little bit, but like, I mean, you said what, 3 years you've done that?
Yeah, every other day
Man.
for the past. Sometimes if a video did bad the day before, I'll upload the day after as well.
Right.
So like it's pretty much it's at the least every other day. sometimes daily.
Whew.
But like,
Wait,
I
so how
haven't
many
taken a
videos are
break.
you at right now? Do you know?
I think like nearly 1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty cracked.
Whew, man. Okay, so talk to me about that. Like, so you said you're a bunch of videos ahead,
Probably like 15 or something.
right? Which is that's huge. But then you got to keep that.
Got to keep
You got to
that. Yeah, I
keep
always
ahead,
like to
right?
be at least 2 digits ahead.
Nice. I love that. I love that. So how like meticulous are you with scheduling and stuff? Like, are you how many days of a week are you filming?
So at the moment, at least right now, it's literally like every day, like 1 or 2
Wow.
videos every day. But because I've started Twitch streaming, sometimes I just don't film in the day, and
Sure.
I film 2 videos the day before or something. So,
Right. Right.
but in terms of like scheduling, I upload like at least at my time, it's like 8 a.m. every other day. I don't
Wow.
change it. Sometimes I might accidentally upload earlier, but yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Wow. That's insane, man.
yeah. Cheers.
But look, it's working. So
Yeah, I
it's like,
guess so.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's clearly working. Uh, um, man, do you struggle? I mean, I think you talked about this earlier a little bit, but like, do you struggle with burnout?
Ideas and stuff. Yeah, or burnout. Yeah, well, in terms of like ideas, obviously you can't like reinvent yourself every video. That's just crazy. So
Right. Yeah.
but I think a lot of my audience wants to, watch me for me because like you can have like $1,000
Exactly.
setup, like expensive cameras or lights, but like
Mm-hmm.
you're not. That doesn't like determine success 100%. I feel like your audience want to see you for you. Like when
Yeah.
I was trying to grow my channel, like one of my favorite ASM artists still to this day is Rafi. And I'm
Yeah.
like, Rafi's literally just got a microphone and he's in his living room. But then
Yeah.
like he's the most lovable, most
Yeah.
awesome, just BFG I've ever seen. And you
Absolutely.
watch him for him because he has such a cool personality and he just makes it work. And so I wanted
Rafi is a
to.
really good example, and I think he was episode like
He was one of the
man,
early
two,
ones, I
two
think.
or three on the podcast. But he's a great example of. I tell people this all the time, like the expensive cameras and mics and all of that is fine once you get to a certain. I would never suggest someone just starting out to spend all that money.
Yeah, like
But like Rafi is a
yeah.
great example of like he was on a webcam.
Yes, like so
in
was like I also was on a webcam on photo booth with
yeah,
a broken
ex-
microphone
there
stand
you
to
go.
like
There you
a
go.
couple thousand subscribers, and then I used my iPhone 5 to like
There you
200K.
go.
So like
Yep.
it's just a testament that you don't need an expensive setup at
There you
all.
go. I used my iPhone probably 5 or 6 till like 150 200,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's
For sure.
crazy.
Yeah. Man, well look, the upload schedule is amazing, man. Like that's crazy, and I hope at some point you can find a way to take a break
Yeah, that'd be
at
good.
some point, which I know is hard. I mean, I think that's came up every episode I've done is like
Yeah,
how
definitely
hard it
when
is
like
to-
international travel opens up, I'm going to America, gonna play a bunch of
Nice.
Yu-Gi-Oh and hang out with
There you
everyone
go.
and
Yep.
just take a break. Because I think
There you
Gina
go.
is going on a break in like next year. She's gonna go on like
Yeah,
a 2-month
yeah.
break or something, which is like crazy.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and like man, and that's another person who's also been on a strict schedule for years.
she's just S tier.
So-
Like it's crazy.
Oh yeah. No, it's yeah. All right. Three left.
Hit me.
Let's talk about equipment really quick with your channel. What camera and mics are you currently using?
I use a Lumix FC300. I've used that for a few years. It's good. It gets the job done. I might upgrade at some point, but it's been fine. I love it.
Yeah.
I just use like a desk lamp, like a few like desk lights that I just got down the road from my local like retail store. I have
Nice.
like two, what are these called? These like two, they like dispersed light. They're called
Yeah.
like I forget the name, but like they're just like basic lights I got on eBay for like $20, and then
Sure.
like this is just like a little green screen. I have a black screen, and then
Yep,
I just have cupboards full of just like random shite
Props. Yep, exactly. Yep.
and that's basically it. I just got a new iMac. I should have got
Nice.
a gaming PC, man, because I wanted to do like more like live streaming and gaming, but
Right.
like it's fine. Like
Yep.
I'm a Mac guy. I'm sorry, everyone.
Me too.
So
Me too. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big, and I admit it too. Like, I'm absolutely an Apple sheep. Like anything
me
they
too,
put out,
man.
I'm getting. But yeah, I mean, like even what I'm on right now, I is a maxed out gaming PC I got last year.
Sheesh.
And it's weird, right? Like going between Windows and Mac is so different, and Windows is so bad in so many ways.
Yeah.
And like, so like I literally have this just to do this and to stream. Like I don't do anything
totally
creative on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's a whole nother podcast. All right, two more. Here we go. If you could hear anyone on this podcast in the future, who would you like to hear?
If I could hear anyone on this podcast, who would I want to hear? It would be great to hear. That's such a good question. I would want to hear, I guess in terms of like ASMR stuff, it'd be great to hear like Fred or Zeitgeist or Chris Mano. Like they're the goats. I'd love to hear them. Or like has Goodnight Moon been on?
No. I'm definitely gonna make that happen though.
She's
sure.
also great.
Absolutely.
All of them would be so nice. Maybe if it was an ASMR, Mr. Beast, just do it.
There we go. Let's put that out. Let's put that out in the world. Mr. Beast, if you somehow magically come across this, which you won't, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. I like that. All right, last question, the most important question, the most controversial question. I ask every guest this. Pineapple on pizza.
No, stop. Get out.
Is it a yes or no for you?
If you put pineapple on your pizza, you need to leave the solar system.
Oh, I love it.
Don't do it.
I love it.
Please.
Oh my God.
Ever since a young boy, I adamantly dislike. I have to just stop being friends with people if they put pineapple. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I'm joking. No, it's fine.
Look, I'm a no too. It's a no from me too.
It just doesn't work, man. I'm sorry. Like, even though I know no one asked, but I'm vegan, I've never put pineapple on pizza. It just does not work.
It's a mental thing for me. I just can't get over like hot, fresh fruit.
Yeah, I agree. It's so like mushy and like, ugh. Yeah. I totally agree.
Okay, you guys heard it. That's a no from JoJo on the pineapple on pizza. We're keeping a tally. I think it's like, man, I think it's like 9-5. Yes. So far with the guests.
Those 5 people are wrong.
I love it. All right. Look, where can they find you online? This is your time to plug away. You can find me on
my YouTube channel. It's called JoJo ASMR. I've just started Twitch streaming, so I don't know. I just do that whenever I want. When I'm bored, I might do some today even, but like it's just for fun. It's at JoJo_ASMR, I think, and I need to work on my Instagram game because it's so weak. But you can follow me at JoJo ASMR and like _. That's basically it. Nice. I don't have a Twitter, but yeah.
Love it. Look, man, I really appreciate this. I think this was really fun. And honestly, I never talk about this but like this is the first time we've like talked. Like we've
it's actually crazy. This is the first time we
talked. But like it's good to really meet you, right?
Yeah, man.
And we got some work to do, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're getting in the lab, gonna cook something up, bro.
Okay. I like it. Seriously though, thank you for being here. It was a blast. I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here, and you're the GOAT. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to subscribe on YouTube, leave a 5-star review, especially on Apple Podcasts. This has been the Creator Code Podcast. I'm your host, Matty Tingles. Be safe out there. Be kind to others, and especially yourself. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.